Welcome to Black Art Today's video series, UnCovered. UnCovered is Black Art Today's intimate conversations with artists of African descent that represent African culture in the genres of literature, visual arts, and the performing arts. In this episode of UnCovered, Black Art Today traveled to Martha's Vineyard to attend the Beautiful Difference art exhibit at the Francine Kelly Gallery at the Art Barn, which is a part of the Featherstone Center for the Arts. Our journey on Martha's Vineyard starts in the town of Oak Bluffs. Oak Bluffs is known for its Victorian homes and gingerbread-style cottages. Many of the homes and establishments were built by African-American servants. These servants eventually became year-round residents, small business entrepreneurs, and property owners. One such family were the Shearers. In 1912, Charles and Henrietta Shearer established the Shearer Cottage as a lodging house catering to African-American vacationers that were otherwise denied access to the island's lodging. The Shearer Cottage hosted many prominent African-Americans such as Ethel Waters, an actor and singer, Paul Robeson, an entertainer and political activist, Harry T. Burleigh, a classical composer, arranger, and singer, Adam Clayton Powell Jr., a United States congressman, and Lillian Ivanti, who was the first internationally known African-American opera singer. Just like the limited access to lodging, African Americans had limited access to the island's many beaches. The town beach in Oak Bluffs was the popular beach frequented by African Americans beginning in the late 19th century. This narrow strand of beach was called the Inkwell by nearby whites due to the skin color of the beachgoers. Over the years, prominent and wealthy African Americans have transformed this once segregated town into what is known today as the Black Hamptons. Oak Bluffs is now a place to see and to be seen, as affluent people of the African diaspora from all around the world come to party and relax. From Lola's Cafe for drinks and dancing, to relaxing on Manishma Beach while eating lobster and watching the sunset. In Martha's Vineyard, there's something for everyone, even the art lover.
Hi, thank you and welcome to Featherstone. We've been around for 22 years here on the campus, and we were in our new Francine Kelly Gallery that we opened a year ago this August. So I hope you enjoyed the space of the show. We're here year-round and we offer classes for children, for adults. We have concerts here on our outdoor stage. We have a pottery and jewelry studio next door, printmaking studio, so we're a full year-round art center. We curate 15 shows a year here at the gallery, and so about a year and a half ago, I asked Sandra Grymes, who spends quite a bit of time here at Oak Bluffs and home here, as well as in New York. She's on the board of the Studio Music of Harlem, to curate this show called The Beautiful Difference. So I will have her tell you a little bit about the show. We get a welcome for her here.
what a show might look like at the end of the process, and to think about the kinds of images that would make a show come to life and make the vision come to life. Usually someone has given the curator some notion about what it is they want. It gives them a very broad mandate. And mine for this show was to make it a show that when people walked in the room, they would say, wow. So the wow factor was what we were going for. And we wanted to make it an educational experience and one that would be inspirational, because there are not many people on this island who are exposed to this level of art by African Americans or people of African descent. And so that is how this show came to be. I became a curator very serendipitously, because this is the first show I have ever curated. And so I was asked to do this.
I had heard of Sandra Grymes before, because I knew that she was on the board of the Studio Theater, and I knew that she lived here part-time in Martha's Vineyard. So when I heard that the show The Beautiful Difference was going to be here, I contacted the executive director, who was Ann Smith, and we had talked about the curator being Sandra Grymes. And I knew that Sandra had a rich history of collecting and also representing African American artists, so it was just an obvious choice that she would actually be the curator for the show here in Martha's Vineyard.
I think that one should approach art with an open mind and an open heart, and be ready to see things that you've never seen before, and not go in with any preconceived notions about it. You know, I think that there are, especially African Americans in this culture, sometimes there are groups of people who expect art to look a certain way. And they're looking for something that reflects themselves often. They're looking for more figurative art. Some don't quite understand, and you know, I hear all the time, I don't understand abstract art, but when you break that down, they understand perfectly well what is going on in a piece. So I essentially think that people should be open to all kinds of expression, because expression is very varied. Everybody has a different vision. Everybody has something to say. You can get something from everybody's experience. I chose to start with an exhibition statement. When you go to a major art exhibit in any museum, there's usually some statement that sort of sets the tone for the exhibition, and that's what I tried to do here. We put in the first gallery, essentially, works of master African-American artists: Bearden, Betty Saar, Hughie Lee-Smith, Norman Lewis, and our own, because this is in Martha's Vineyard, our own Lois Malia Jones, who worked here and painted here in addition to other places, but she is highly identified with this community. So we put those artists in the first gallery. And then the other artists kind of play off of that. I have about 3 generations of artists in this show, so that you can see where people started, and you can see their descendants in this show. And you can see the relationships between the pieces from those who have gone before them in the show. First of all, if you look at a piece of art, the emotion that you feel when you look at it is your own personal experience with the piece. And so everybody has that. I mean, everybody has that power to determine how each person feels about whatever they're looking at. And so, I mean, I've looked at lots of art. My absolute favorite artist is Picasso, who painted all kinds of things, everything under the sun, practically. And the energy in his work, you see also in this work. And so everybody has their own emotional translation and experience with work. What I do like is the collection as a whole. I think that they all sort of play off of each other nicely. And as you transition from one to the other, it plays off of it well. And so That's what I would say about that. Basically, I'm a diplomat.
Hi, I'm Bill Ebbs. I live in Washington, D.C. I'm a dentist for 30 years in Washington, D.C. and an avid collector of African-American art. So we're here in Martha's Vineyard, and I was inspired for the show, The Beautiful Difference, from one of the artists, Maria Lana Queen. I've collected from for years, and we were actually at a party about a month ago, and she told me that she was going to be in a show in Martha's Vineyard. And I said, well, we're going to be up there the last week in August. I called the studio or the gallery directly and asked if I could actually have a show there, because it was important for me that not only did her work be seen, but also the other 30 African-American artists that were represented in the show, and that people up here at Martha's Vineyard actually got to do something different besides just the normal going to the beach and going to parties. And it turned out to be probably one of the best events of the weekend, actually. So I started collecting art actually when I was in dental school. I was about 30 years ago. I was in dental school in 1983, and about 30 years ago in Washington, D.C., there was a time when there were artists everywhere. There were artists on the corners, there were artists at Union Station, and a lot of the artists from Baltimore and New York would come down on Sundays and actually be at Union Station. So I would go up on Sundays actually, and I was a poor dental student, but I always had the resources of actually being able to do dentistry. And I would barter with a lot of the artists. I would say, if you needed your work done, you needed your crown done, I needed patients, they needed to sell, they needed dentistry. And from there I started collecting. So even my freshman year of dental school, I started collecting original pieces of art from people. And as I got out of dental school and started making a little money, I was actually able to then buy bigger pieces. But I've always had this passion for not only African-American artists, but really the diaspora of black art. Not only African art, Caribbean art, but also African-American art. And especially now, even African masks and the things that are from the continent, actually. I thought the Beautiful Difference show was excellent. It was a wonderful evening. We had 2 hours of being able to walk around, see the diversity of African-American artists, from wood sculptures to paintings to photographs. I don't think we could have had a better show, especially with the diversity of the 30 different artists that were represented.
Hello everyone, my name is John T. Wolfe Jr. I'm a retired university president, and I'm here in Martha's Vineyard enjoying a few days of R&R, and had the good fortune of attending an art show sponsored by Dr. William Ebbs, and it was a real treat. At the Featherstone Gallery, which I've been to before, but the pieces on exhibit were exquisite. It was a combination of various media that reflected the talents of a wide range of artists that were featured during the show. There were some exquisite pieces, of which I enjoyed the most, included some photographic work, because I'm an amateur photographer, engaged in capturing what my eye sees at any given moment. And I don't sell my pieces or anything like that, but there was a piece that I saw that was done with lighting, an exquisite piece. I don't remember the name of it. I have it written down, but I don't have it with me. I think people who have an opportunity to go to shows like this are enriched by the variety of pieces that were displayed, from photography to mixed media, collages, sculpture. There was even a separate room where videos of various artists and people who were curators presented as well. It's It's an excellent venue. I think it's a well-kept secret for infrequent visitors to Martha's Vineyard. I would like to commend Dr. Ebbs for putting this show on and hosting it.
So my name is Larry Crenshaw, and I'm associated with the show because my partner, Dr. Ebbs, decided that this year at the Vineyard we were going to bring art to Martha's Vineyard. Art has been a huge part of our lives for forever. I think it's probably how we came together as a couple. But you know, Queen Maria, who was one of the artists that was showcased at yesterday's art show, is one of the artists that we collect from, and we're always trying to introduce artists that we collect from to our friends and to our families, and so it was an excellent opportunity for us to do just that. You know, one thing that we never want to do is we never want to miss an opportunity to showcase art or share artwork with any of our friends or family. So that's my involvement with the show. I had an amazing time, and I think that anyone that was at the show yesterday would attest to the same.
I am Dennis Carew, and I am here on the lovely island of Martha's Vineyard, and we had the pleasure of experiencing one of the most prolific art shows that I've experienced in quite some time. And I say that because I find that art is subjective, as we all know, but when pieces speak to you and speak to your experience and touch your heart in a way that's profound, is the only word that I can think of at the moment. But there were several pieces overall that I found to be extraordinarily moving. The array of types of mediums that were presented were extraordinary. The sculptures of the sort of mixed medium designs that were produced by such artists that have such a deep understanding of the soil and how they express themselves through the African-American experience, I guess you could say. It's just impactful. It has a lingering sort of effect on me. There's one piece in particular, though. Everything was great, I will say that. But there was one piece in particular that I found to be really, that I connected with. Unfortunately, it's already been sold, but I'll track the artist down. There's one piece that melded black and white as far as African-American and Caucasian. There's a Bell character who was, how would I say, who was recreated in this piece by sort of a melding of an African-American or African woman and a Caucasian woman with different textures, and I don't know, I felt that it was absolutely extraordinary. And I need to understand with the black bird in each of these pieces. There was another piece as well that was Mary Magdalene, that you'll find the black bird in this piece. So I think there must be something about that bird that is either transformational or something along those lines that the artist feels it necessary to have that bird in her pieces. So overall, I think it was absolutely wonderful. I had a great time. I met some wonderful people.
Hi, my name's Walter Burroughs. I'm visiting from Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is my first time to the island. It has been beautiful so far. And as far as the event last night, I thought it was a wonderful event. Well, a very well-rounded showing of art, black art, something that I rarely get to see back at home. So it was a pleasure.
My name is Michael Finch. I'm from Dallas, Texas. This is my first trip here to the Vineyard. Yesterday I had the opportunity to attend an art show showing at the Featherstone Gallery, I believe. It was well attended by many. I think that it was a good opportunity for us as a community, an African American community, to continue to embrace and engage people in many different fields that we participate in. And I enjoyed myself thoroughly and would attend it again at any notice.
I'm Walter Kenzel Graham. I want to give you a little bit of feedback of my experience that I received last night at a very wonderful, wonderful gathering here in the Vineyard regarding African American artists, different styles of art making, patterns, designs. It was very, very impressive. It was great to see so many African Americans in one location here in the Vineyard. I don't think we do enough of that as a people, as a race. But last night was a real eye-opener for me in that the work and the creativity that we have within our own people is just simply not recognized enough. And so I had the privilege of being part of a really fabulous event last night. And I can tell you that not only was the work brilliant and vibrant, but very, very creative in the African American culture. It was very representative of us as a people, as our heritage, but I think we need to do more within our own community to represent and to celebrate the creativity, the talent, the history that we bring together as a people.
Black Art Today, the folks that run that organization are just wonderful, good friends of mine. They really added a whole other level of beauty, excitement, and I guess the love of art, and bringing that to people that may not have been exposed, but they're providing a platform that will allow for so many of us to experience some of these great artists that are that should be the tip of our tongues.
Why do I think Black Art Today is important? I think Black Art Today is important because it's filling a niche that has been around for a long time. There has been a need for a place to come and to actually see not only Black art as far as paintings and sculptures, but the diversity of Black art. What I can see from Black Art Today is that it's giving a chance for you to go to one site and get everything that you need as far as Black art representation. And it's also part of the diaspora. They not only do they do African American artists, but there's Caribbean artists, there's African art, so everything is in one place.